I'd just like to bring everybody up to date on former Selectman Ernie Doucette. He suffered another setback this week in his intensive care unit. And again, we wish he and Alice and his family well, and we're all thinking of him and praying for his speedy recovery. So we hope Ernie pulls out of this quickly and well, and I know he's looking forward to participating in the election coming week from tomorrow, and we hope he's up to it. But again, we wish he and Alice the best. With that, approval of minutes, April 17th, 2001, regular and executive. Mr. Bagan.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the April 17th regular session and executive session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Unanimous. Correspondence. Again, the members have a copy of the correspondence list. If you'd like a copy of anything, just check it off. To Linda, make copies. Would everybody like to see anything in there right now? Just say so, and we'll be happy to share it with you.
I'm all set, Mr.
You
Chairman.
all set?
All set, Joe?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Okay. Next order of business is to appoint the organizers for the Memorial Day Parade. As you know, the Minute and Militia have been doing it for a number of years now, have done a terrific job. So I would anticipate that the board would be planning on doing the same thing. And what are the wishes of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint the Minute Militia as the Memorial Day Parade organizers.
Second.
Motion duly made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Unanimous. Again, we want to thank them in advance, and also for past performances for their efforts, because it's not an easy task putting that together and pulling it off. So we appreciate their efforts. We have a request for a change of manager for the Loyal Order of the Moose. Order of the Moose, we have proposed manager name of M. Virginia Cook, 2 Stevens Road, North Reading. The application. No adverse reports. Chief of Police indicates no the criminal background check comes up negative, which is great. Valid driver's license, all that. So recommended that he's not opposed to the transfer of this license to Ms. Cook. We also have the current duly elected Board of Officers of the Moose signing off as far as the request. That's it. Most of the representatives here right now, but most of us know Ms. Cook or whatever activity. So, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I've known the Cook family for a great many years. They've been a family of town for a great many years, well respected, and I certainly have no problem with the change of manager at the Moose. So, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the change of manager for Loyal Order of Moose, 140 North Street, from Scott A. McPherson to M. Virginia Cook. Second.
Motion duly made and seconded. Any further discussion? Just like to echo Mr. Smith's remarks. I personally get to know the Cook family, and Cooking is recommended also. No further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I did have one question, I guess, for you, Mr. Younger, under correspondence, under the letters, number 7, Federal Energy Regulation Commission regarding maritimes. Are we still in the same pattern where we're going to go through the brook and not into the North Reading and not going through the edge of Alpaca Park?
The last correspondence we received from FERC was that they were supportive of the concept of the gas line coming through. They have taken no action at this point regarding the final location, but it's still on course for what we proposed.
I believe this is...
Yes,
You're all voted. You're all set? You're all set.
We said nice things about you. We said you were wonderful and terrific.
Well, we said
and we had
most of
no
the nice
problem,
Thank you.
Well, this is Ginger.
Right, but, no, we were all,
I guess we were late, I'm sorry.
no, actually, we're ahead of schedule,
late.
which doesn't happen all,
Well,
doesn't happen all that
Back
often.
on the agenda, so
Actually-
we got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not late, we're on time.
Yeah.
And that's unusual.
But no.
You did a great
again,
job, though.
Thank you.
But, again,
Who's your name?
as we all said, we've
No,
we've
you're all
known the
set.
Cook family for a number of years, and we have no problems. There's been no suggested comments and adverse comments, so the board unanimously okayed the
Well, that's why I'm
transfer.
here, I want to tell you.
You want to tell me?
Leave while you're ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take care,
Good
everybody.
night.
That's the way to go to a meeting. That is a nice game. So anyway, on the federal regulatory, we're okay. Maritimes is pretty much in the same spot we were a couple of weeks ago.
Right, it's still, the proposal's still the same. FERC is not taking any action regarding the actual sign fee yet.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I'll sit.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is I asked the town administrator to put together a few letters here, one to the governor, acting governor, Senate President, the Speaker of the House, Chairman of the Senate Ways and Means Committee, our own state senator and state representative, in relation to the Chapter 70 school aid level of reimbursement to the town. As you are all aware, the governor proposed one figure, House one, which is the House budget, came in at another figure, which was substantially less than what the governor had proposed. In addition to that, we were actually hoping for an increase above what the governor was even proposing, which is quite a shock. If you look at the area communities around us, most of them have been adversely affected by the House one budget proposal. I just want to make it clear at this particular point, this is just a proposal on the House side of the budget. The Senate still has yet to come out with their budget proposal, which will include some figure in relation to Chapter 78, but I think it's important in relation to the budgetary constraints that not only the town of North Reading is facing, but most of the towns in the Commonwealth. The reallocation of this formula as presented on the House Ways and Means Committee budget has a significant adverse impact on most of the communities throughout Massachusetts. I mean, there's a few. I mean, Danvers was an exception, the only exception in the area, I think, right, Tom? Most of them-
Danvers and Tewksbury were the major two.
One major two, as far as it had a positive, but the rest of the communities, including North Reading, it's to about $111,000 less than the governor's proposal. So I just am requesting that the board authorize my signature on a letter to those elected representatives that I mentioned, expressing our concern in relation to the House Ways and Means budget proposal, and would hope that the Senate would restore the funding level to at least the governor's suggested level, if not more. And I think we should go on record. I just want to put that forth for consideration by the board. Any comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would certainly endorse that recommendation. I think the board should endorse it. But in relation to it, I did call Bradley Jones Jr., our state rep, and talked to him about it, and his indication was they certainly would hope to get as much back as the 111,000, possibly a little bit more, but he was even skeptical we might not even get as much as we're getting as far as the, I believe it's 68,000 left. And he's not even sure we're even going to get the 68,000. So it is a tight situation. I certainly would endorse sending out any kind of correspondence we can get to encourage the Senate to try to restore that money, because it directly relates to the school budget, as we all know.
It affects the entire, I mean, obviously
Well, it
a
affects the
significant
entire town,
decrease
but
in
it's
this particular account will affect all budgets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, our budget projections were predicated upon a certain figure, and this falls below that at this particular point, so it would not bode well for us going forward into the next fiscal year.
Right.
If you'd like, I'll just read the content, and the content is pretty much the same for all of the the Governor, the Senate President, Speaker of the House, Chairman of the Senate Ways and Means Committee, and our state rep and state senator. The North Reading Board of Selectmen requests that the fiscal year 2002 Chapter 70 school aid for the town be increased at a minimum to $2,993,729, which was the Governor's request in House 1. The House Ways and Means Committee reduced this figure to $2,882,671. That amount is unacceptable to the town. Our fiscal year 02 school budget, which was approved at our April 2nd, 2001 town meeting, was predicated on the Governor's figures. Any amount less than that will mean further reductions in an educational program which has been revamped to meet the FY02 budget. This means an increased number of students in classrooms, reduced resources, as well as increased user fees to parents. It would be appreciated if you would increase at a minimum our Chapter 70 school aid to $2,993,729. Any further increase would be appreciated by the town and will be properly utilized by our school department to continue to the enhancement of our educational system. Thank you very truly yours, Stephen J. O'Leary, Chairman. Mr. Baker.
Yeah, I'm a little confused there. Mr. Smith asked you, made mention that affects the school budget. You said it doesn't, yet your letter reflects it does.
This is the Chapter 78 is directed into the school budget, but how it affects the other budgets is that if the Chapter 70 funds are reduced, and they have less to work with, obviously, but what's going to happen is the town as a whole has to reassess our entire fiscal situation.
Okay. So basically what this means is we should start looking forward at the money that we're guaranteed, i.e. our property taxes, our excise taxes, and even the excise taxes aren't guaranteed, but the property taxes, in working our budget from that, and anything that comes in from the state, we should look at as pretty much a windfall. Because if we base our budgets on what we think they're going to get us, obviously we can't come up short. And in a year like this, it hurts even more because we don't have the reserves because we've dwindled them down. So.
I think, in the past, we've been pretty conservative in our estimates in relation to the level of state aid that will be coming into the community, which has actually helped us stay as fiscally sound as we are. Again, we're as tight just like everybody else, but we've been able to hold off general operating expense overrides far better than a lot of other communities, and that's because our estimates have been low, and they've been predicated upon generally the governor's request. And over the last decade, the governor's request has been less than what the House and Senate have approved. But in this particular year, it appears as though the House Ways and Means Chairman, and apparently the Speaker, believes that there should be another